Hi. Throughout time, we have seen many great albums released in the first couple months of the year. Black Star, The Life of Pablo, Anti, Circles. Even last year, we saw Ethel Kane, Mac Miller, and The Weeknd release great projects to start off the year. So it's safe to say that I had pretty lofty expectations for what these first few months of 2026 would have to offer. And it's been interesting. There have been some albums that blew me out of the water, and also some albums that were incredibly disappointing. There were three specific albums that were especially disappointing to me, one of which being Piss in the Wind by Joji. I've never been the biggest fan of Joji's music, but he's definitely released some quality material before, so I expected this album to be at least decent. It wasn't. The album is pretty boring, and I'm really not a fan of the instrumentals or the vocals, so there's not really anything I'm getting out of it. The new Poppy album was also just not my thing. I don't think I'll ever be able to get around the vocals. I can't quite describe why, but the vocals are just not my cup of tea at all. And lastly, the new Megadeth album. It's really bad. But amongst the disappointment, there have been some really great albums released so far. Two of the most highly anticipated hip hop albums of the year have already been released: The Fall Off by J. Cole and Don't Be Dumb by ASAP Rocky, which I enjoyed them both. I enjoyed Don't Be Dumb a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I think it's gonna make my top 50 albums at the end of the year. Another album that's for sure going to make it into my top 50 is My Ghosts Go Ghost by Storm. This kind of reminds me of the Black Country New Road album from last year. Nothing to do with it stylistically, but because it is a group losing a member, this time being injury reserve, and coming back with another great project. I've also really been enjoying this new indie rock album. It's a self titled debut album by Shaking Hands, and I highly recommend you go listen to it if you enjoy indie rock and things like that. But there is one album that has surpassed the others, and I am confident it will be in my top 10 albums to end the year. This album, or should I say mixtape, is ETDS by Maryland based rapper IDK. He came on my radar last year with his single Clover featuring Joey Valence and Bray, which made this album and is one of my favorites on it. I really love the lyricism and vocals that IDK brings on this, and there's great production to back it up. Overall, this is fantastic. I would go listen to it no matter how little you want to. It's really that good. Overall, 2026 has been interesting. There have been some really high highs and some really low lows, but overall, I'm excited to see what the rest of the year has to offer in terms of music. That's about it. Bye.